The Gaza Strip is a very small stretch of territory. It is about 360 square kilometers in its entire extent. And at this moment as we speak, over 2.3 million civilians of the Gaza Strip are experiencing a severe humanitarian crisis. Now, the Gaza aid move is the first crack in a punishing 11-day-long siege on the Palestinian enclave after the deadliest attack that Israel has witnessed in its history. So here's all you need to know as to what is happening at this moment in the Gaza Strip. Concerns continue to mount about the dwindling supplies of food, water and medical supplies. What is unfolding at this moment has been described as a humanitarian catastrophe because of the crippling blockade that has been imposed. The Rafah crossing is the only way out of Gaza, and it is something that is not controlled by Israel. The Rafah crossing has remained shut during the war as Israel has struck the Palestinian side repeatedly. Aid is piled up in convoys of trucks that are waiting along the Rafah crossing in Egypt. Israeli leaders have agreed to Biden's request to allow for humanitarian aid into the besieged city via Egypt. The Israeli Prime Minister's office has stated that the Rafah crossing agreement was limited to food, water and medicines and conditional on it that Hamas should not be using this. Biden has said that the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has agreed to let at least about 20 trucks through initially. And the American president has further added that the shipment would likely not cross until Friday, as the road around the crossing needs urgent repairs because the road has been bombed by the Israelis. Now, the United Nations humanitarian chief Martin Griffiths estimates that at least about 100 trucks per day at this moment are needed to even meet the demands of Gaza. Egyptian presidential spokesperson has announced the sustainable passage of humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip through the Rafah crossing. However, he has not specified a date, and Biden has said that the United Nations will distribute the aid on the other side and that a second tranche of more aid is possible depending on how this particular exercise goes. But he's also warned that if Hamas confiscates it and doesn't let it through, then this aid will end. The WION's principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibil has been tracking the story very closely for us. He's presently in Tel Aviv and has been getting us details as they are emerging. He's been covering this conflict from ground zero for us since the escalations and the hostilities broke out. Listen to his report.
The situation here in Israel remains one of cautiousness and one of worry amidst, of course, the situation of the hostages. Now, the biggest worry for the government is the release of the hostages who are still in the custody of Hamas, and almost on a daily basis we have seen the family members of those hostages holding protests, hoping against hope that their loved ones will be released very soon. Israel has suffered its worst terror attack, and amidst this we know that there have been visits of several world leaders, including US President Joe Biden, also German Chancellor and European leaders. Now we will see the visit of the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, who travels to this country and show his country's support to the people of Israel. But when it comes to the global issue, the big worry also remains on the humanitarian situation in Gaza. Now, it has been agreed that from Egypt through Rafah border, the humanitarian aid will be sent to Gaza, and this was agreed after the visit of the US president. So, several developments in the region. The big worry remains that whether there will be a de-escalation or further escalation that can impact the stability of the West Asian region. With video journalist Sanjeet Siddhant for WION in Tel Aviv, Israel.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.